Welcome, everybody. As you can tell, we love Cameo here at Amplitude, and I personally love Cameo. I'm John Hurley, the head of product marketing at Amplitude, and I am so excited to welcome Steven, the CEO of Cameo. And Cameo has really redefined the entire industry around celebrity culture and created an entirely new economic engine behind Hollywood. So, Steven, thank you so much for being here. I am psyched to talk to you.
Thank you for having me.
Great. Well, let's just jump right into it. I mean, there's a lot to talk about and so little time. You've said that the idea behind Cameo was to create this new selfie, the new selfie as a autograph, and I love that, and I love to hear the founding story behind Cameo because it's such a unique idea and it brings so much delight to so many people. So, can you tell us, like, how did you come up with the idea? How did you start the company that ultimately became an incredible disruptor?
Sure. Well, thank you for the question, John. We had the idea for Cameo where all billion-dollar ideas ought to happen at my grandmother's funeral, of all places. My co founder, Martin, had flown in from Los Angeles to Chicago for the day to pay his respects. And as I was driving him back to O'Hare Airport from the funeral, he was telling me about a problem he was having as an NFL agent who was repping a whole one player, Cassius Marsh of the Seattle Seahawks. Namely, he couldn't find him any off the field dollars. And for those of you that are sports fans in the audience, you may have seen the documentary Broke on ESPN, where it said that 90%, 80% of NFL players go broke 5 years after playing their last game. This was a problem. It was something that Martin was really intimately aware of, and we were brainstorming ways to fix it. He then was telling me how charismatic his one player, Cassius Marsh, was. He took out his phone and showed me a video that today we call the first Cameo. In that video, Cassius Marsh was congratulating a guy named Brandon, who at the time was a top marketer at Nike, on becoming a first time father. And the video was Cassius driving. He was not wearing a shirt. He was all tatted up. And he said, "Congratulations, Brandon. This is Cassius Marsh from the Seahawks. Heard about your son, Maverick. And if he gets your athletic ability, I know he'll be playing for the Seattle Seahawks one day. Go Hawks." Brandon posted that video on Instagram. He said it was the best gift he'd ever gotten in his life. And when Martin showed me that, the aha moment happened, and that led us down the rabbit hole that would become Cameo.
Incredible. I know I've had a few of those experiences myself with cameos, with friends. So I love that story. Well, that was the founding story. That's the first Cameo. Take us to where you are now. How many cameos have been delivered? Like, what's the growth of this company been like?
Sure. So just recently, we crossed our 2.5 millionth Cameo. This has been one of the fastest growing consumer internet businesses on earth, going from zero in bookings to 100 million in GMV in a 4 year period. Our business model is a simple one. We let the talent set their own price. They get 75%. So in a year like 2020, where so much of the creator economy found themselves unemployed, musicians had their tours canceled, athletes weren't able to play, actors and all different types of people found their production stopped. Cameo became a place where so many people could get paid to become more famous and more beloved by connecting with their fans at a time where they couldn't be on stage or they couldn't be performing.
Amazing. I mean, that growth is incredible, and it's such a delightful product that I can't imagine why it wouldn't spread. But can you talk a little bit more about what are some of the other factors that have contributed to this kind of wild success and growth as a company?
Sure. If you really want to think about Cameo, it's really the marketplace for people's time. And one of the larger visions that we are trying to manifest is for X amount of money, you should be able to pay to do Y activity with Z person. And as we started to think about all the Y activities that we could do, the personalized video shout out was a really exciting one because logistically it was a lot easier than getting someone to show up at your birthday party. And it was also something that talent could do on their phones relatively quickly. The other thing that's exciting about Cameo as a marketplace is our supply can beget its own demand. So unlike DoorDash, unlike YouTube, or sorry, unlike Uber, unlike Airbnb, our supply are famous. They have hundreds of thousands or millions of followers, and they can turn their followers into our customers for free, which has really enabled us to grow quickly without having to spend marketing dollars, because ultimately the talent have their own distribution, they can promote, and they can drive people to the site. Next, the product itself has a really great flywheel built into it, as it's largely a gifting product. So I buy for you, John. You share to Instagram, you share to Twitter. All your friends just learned about Cameo, and every Cameo, as we say, becomes a commercial for the next one. So it's really those growth dynamics that have allowed Cameo to grow so explosively.
Yeah, that's amazing thinking about how the product actually fuels the growth. And I know both at the summit here and with a lot of people attending, they're thinking a lot about different product-led growth strategies. I do want to talk a little bit more about measurement, because you talked about, the growth of the company and the number of cameos delivered and the different distributions, which are all major contributors to the growth. But what do you measure? How do you connect back some of these really incredible growth numbers back to the value to the customer? Both the customer being the celebrity as well as the consumer. I'd love to hear about some of those metrics and KPIs.
Well, taking a step back, we are a marketplace, so we measure a lot, right? We are looking at all types of things that impact the liquidity of our marketplace. The core North Star KPI that we follow is the amount of magical moments that we create. So we call every Cameo a magical moment, and we're trying to match as many of our visitors to the site with the 40,000 talent that are on the platform. Backing up a little bit, my background prior to Cameo and even before my time at LinkedIn, I was an options trader. So I love the market making in this. And if you start thinking about Cameo being the marketplace for people's time, on Cameo, we are trading people's time more frequently than they trade it anywhere else. So if you're a professional athlete, you may sign a contract every 3 to 5 years, which is ultimately validating what your time is worth. If you're a musician, it might happen once a year when you're going on tour. Every single day, people are changing their price on Cameo, and we have 40,000 different talent setting different prices. We're looking at conversion rates, and we're providing insights to our talent to run their business on Cameo as effectively as possible.
It's unbelievable. It's like a whole new business model, a whole new economy that's happening, within your ecosystem, which is amazing. I think one of the things you've already touched on is how delightful, how personalized these experiences are. I mean, Cameo is kind of the essence of a personalized experience. Can you talk about the importance of personalization to each individual user, both the actual experience of delivering those videos or getting those videos, but also what do you do within the product that allows for faster routes to personalization?
Well, number one, personalization is literally in our mission. Cameo's mission is to create the most personalized and authentic fan connections on earth. So it's literally like a cornerstone of everything that we do. When you think about personalization on Cameo, it happens a couple ways. Number one, the videos themselves are personalized, and just hearing, your idol say your name is something that really brings a lot of joy to people, as we've seen. But going one step deeper, I think the most exciting part of the personalization in the platform actually is user-led personalization. So, John, if you're coming to buy, Tanner a Cameo, you need to have insight as his friend who he personally would like and who would make him most excited. Because it's not just enough to get Snoop Dogg for everyone. Like knowing that Tanner loves one individual person from some show that's on there, that actually makes for a better gift than just getting somebody that's more famous. So, personalization is everything. And as we're trying to take users down that journey, we have a very hard search challenge. When I was working at LinkedIn, we were trying to think about how could we help businesses find the people that they were really looking for. This search is even harder because it's not just who you, John, wants, it's who, John, are you searching for and who do they actually like? And that's where, this next level of personalization comes in.
My amplitude mind goes into really interesting ways of doing behavioral cohorting and how you could connect that into your product. But I'm sure your team has figured all of that out. And we're super excited about the future and really, I guess, the present of what's possible with personalization now, and the combination of different types of customer data with behavioral data can really power some incredible innovation. And in entertainment, I'm sure you have to be constantly thinking about what's next. The entertainment industry is all about entertaining, and evolution and innovation is really critical. Uh, how has your product evolved based on some of the things you've learned from your customers?
Sure. So number one, we have not figured it out. I think we're in the top of the second inning when it comes to those insights. Just like at Amplitude, your products are constantly getting better. So at Cameo, we are a learning machine. We love listening to our customers. This is a product with an 80 NPS, so we are constantly looking for feedback and trying to figure out how do we make this product better than ever. And this has led to some of the more recent innovation that's come on the platform. We're coming off of Mother's Day, which is one of the busiest days that we have all year, and a new feature that our customers had been asking for a while was something like 24-hour delivery. And now on Cameo, instead of having to wait 7 days for your video to come, you can go as a last minute gift and pay a surcharge and actually make sure that it's there. So that's the type of customer led innovation that we're excited about. Also during COVID, things like Zoom calls, video calls, just like this one, became a lot more prevalent, and things that were happening in the analog world that had stopped, like meet and greets, needed to find a way to go virtual, and that has helped us build our newest product, Cameo Calls, which effectively is a virtual meet and greet. It's a way to FaceTime with talent on the platform.
Well, let's talk about Cameo Calls. It's a great segue, and it sounds like this is a really exciting meet and greet product that's sounds like currently in beta. But I'd love to hear more about the overall product vision. And from your perspective, what are some of the inputs into building out that product roadmap and that product strategy?
Sure. So from the beginning, as we were thinking about product strategy, we actually had a very big bias that asynchronous video was actually superior to synchronous video. This was a pretty contrarian insight at the time. But now, as we've kind of moved into this remote work world, everybody's seeing that asynchronous communication is important. But as you suddenly went from 10 million daily active users on Zoom to 300 million last year, everybody got a lot more comfortable talking like this, and we needed to find our answer to synchronous video chat, and that's what we did with calls. Another of the way that I think about product, we're always looking to make sure that we're doing really authentic things and relatively low friction things. So if we had the classic 2x2, the x-axis would be ease of doing, and the y-axis would be friction. Like how hard is it to, it's authenticity versus friction rather. And we're constantly looking to find highly authentic, highly personalized, low friction experiences that are easy for talent and extremely delightful.
Well, we can't wait to see what's next with Cameo. Can't wait to experience my first Cameo call. Last question for you. I think it's amazing to think about what you're doing. You're democratizing access to Hollywood and idols and celebrities. And at Amplitude, we talk a lot about democratizing access. We talk about democratizing access to data and insights, removing barriers for teams to answer questions. Can you talk a little bit about the importance when you look at your team of democratizing access to insights and data? Like, how has that helped fuel the disruption that Cameo has really brought to the market?
I mean, I think it's everything. It's so cornerstone to what we're doing. We are providing talent, these small businesses in and on themselves. Every creator today is a business. We fundamentally believe in the future, the biggest brands will be people, right? And you're looking at these people that are coming out, they're running their businesses on Cameo. What can we do to empower them? How can we give them better insights and better data to run their businesses? So whether that's looking at the different prices they're picking and showing them that, oh, by the way, when you raised your price point from uh, to $125 from 99, you actually cut your bookings in half. So even though you might have been making more dollars per video, you actually in aggregate have hurt demand so much. We want to bring it back, and we want to make sure that you're winning, because in our Cameo business model, it's a rev share. So we win when the talent wins, and we're constantly trying to empower them with that. And again, this is all part of our larger vision for Cameo, which is to build product which enables all the world's talent to have a personalized, personal relationship with each and every one of their fans. If I told you that that was something that could be a reality 10 years ago, pre-social, really, you would have thought that was crazy. And, frankly, we'd be really disappointed if we can't pull that off 10 years from now. And that's really where the puck is going for us. And you can't do that without
I
data
mean,
insights.
this kind of level of democratizing insights and using data to not just empower your teams with answers and decision making and roadmap decisions, but actually then taking that data and arming the customer with their own behavioral data is kind of like next level. It's almost a meta use of data and insights, and that's something really unique. So thanks for sharing. Well, Stephen, that was a quick 15 minutes. I mean, Hollywood, watch out. Thank you for joining us today. You're a true representative of digital disruptor culture. So thank you so much. And we can't wait to watch what you and your team are doing next.
Thanks for having me.